Course 3, Study Guide, Chapter 6. This is Mrs. McCowan. Okay, let's get started. Complete the sentences below with vocabulary words from the list above. I want you to pause the video, figure it out on your own, and then unpause. Okay, you should have figured out that number 1 was percent of change, number 2 was commission, and number 3 was simple interest. Let's move on to number 4. Find each percent of increase or decrease to the nearest percent. So we've been working on this all week in class, and when we have a number and we're changing it from 32 to 20, we take the first number, or the biggest number rather, which is our first number, and subtract the smallest number to find the difference. Once we found the difference, we place that over the original number. That would be the first number that comes in order. So it's going to be 12 over 32. And when I put 12 over 32 and divide, I find that this is 0.32. And I need to move my decimal 2 places to the right, which is the equivalent of multiplying by 100, to find that my percent is 32%. Now to find if it's decrease or increase, I look, well, it went from 32 down to 20, so that it would be a decrease. And you need to write out decrease or increase in fullness on your test. Okay, I'd like you to try number 5 on your own and check your answer. Okay, for number 5, you should have gotten 100% increase. Excellent. Number 6, on a sale, a skirt was reduced from $25 to $21. Find the percent of decrease. I'd like you to take a moment to find the percent of decrease. Okay, you should have found that the percent of decrease was 16%. Let's move on to number 7. Number 7, in 1900, the U.S. public debt was $1.2 billion. This number increased to $5,674.2 billion in 2000. Find the percent of increase. So you're going to take these two numbers and subtract to find the percent of increase. So I want you to do this, pause the video, and find your answer. Okay, so you should have found that the percent was 472,750%. Whoa, that's a lot of debt. Okay, let's move on to number 8. Number 8, at the beginning of a 40-week medical supervised diet, Arnie weighed 276 pounds. After the diet, Arnie weighed 181 pounds. Find the percent of decrease. So I want you to find the difference and divide by the original number to find the percent of decrease. Please pause the video. Okay, you should have found that her percent of decrease was 34.4%. Number 9, sales at a grocery store increased 22% during the month of December. If the monthly sales are usually $300,000, how much are the sales in December? Well, we need to change the percent to a decimal and multiply by 300,000 to find our answer, 366,000. Okay, number 10. Find each commission or sales tax to the nearest cent. So, I'm going to do number 10 with you. The total sales was $16,000 and the commission was 3.75%. Well, we need to change the percent to a decimal, so we move the decimal place over two spaces to the left, not the right. Take off our sign. So now we have a decimal multiplied by a whole number. And now we can multiply. Once you've multiplied, you should find that this is $600 would be the commission to the nearest cent. Okay, pause the video and do number 11 on your own. Okay, you should have found that the answer was $1,451.25. Okay, moving on to number 12. As a real estate agent, Kenshio earns 4.5% commission on the houses he sells. In the first quarter of this year, he sold 2 houses, one for $175,000 and one for $199,000. How much was his commission for this quarter? Well, first we need to add the sale of the houses together. So 175 plus 199 is $555,000. Next, we need to change this to a decimal. So this would be 0.045, and then we multiply. And you should find your answer, 16,830. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video and do number 13 on your own. Okay, and your answer to number 13 was $3.55. Okay, I'd like you to do the same. Pause the video for 14 to find the price of the car. Okay, number 14, you should have written the formula 3.75% times P, the price of the car, equals $918.75 in commission. So to undo an equation with multiplication, we have to divide. So we first divide it out, our 3.75%, but I can't divide by a percent. I have to divide by a decimal, so that's why it changed. And whatever I do to one side of the equation, I do to the other. So 918.75 divided by 0.0375 is $24,500. That was the price of the original car. Okay, I'd like you to do the same, and for number 15 and 16, work these out on your own, and then check the video for your work. Okay, you should have found on 15 that the rate was 15%, and you should have found on 16 that the rate was 2.95%. We just wrote our equations, worked it backwards, divided out what the price was to find the rate of percent. Okay, I'd like you to turn the page. We're now on number 17 and talking about simple interest. So we need to find, using the simple interest formula, the missing number. So using our formula, I equals P times R times T, we need to find interest for number 17. So we know that the principal is 14,500. The rate is 6 1/4%, and the time is 3.5 years. I would like to change these numbers to decimals to find the interest. So now I'm going to change to 0.0625 times 3.5. Got carried away with my zeros. Okay, so once I multiply all this together, I find that my interest is $3,171.68. Okay, I'd like you to do numbers 18, 19, and 20 on your own. Pause the video and check your work. Okay, for number 18, you should have gotten $400 was the principal, 7% was the rate, or you should have changed 0.07 to a rate. This is how it needs to be written on a test as a percent. And time was 0.5 years. Make sure you always write down years, dollar signs, or percents to show what specific type of number it is. Okay, I'd like you to do 21, 22, and 23 on your own and check your work. Pause the video. Okay, let's see how you did with simple interest some more. So number 21, the simple interest loan would be $1,000 at 3.75% for 3 years, which would yield $7.50. And then number 2, For Wade, how much money did he pay back? He paid back $14,750. And number 23, how much was the rate that Celeste borrowed? That was 9.75%.